I am standing here in Jared Hughes's living room, our front parlor in the Showhouse, and Jared has designed his room in spectacular fashion around the spectacular hand-painted Gracie wallpaper. Gracie has been bringing in hand-painted wallpaper from China since the 1930s, and it is truly a work of art. Literally like having your room hand-painted. Each panel is 3 feet by 10 feet high, and they are all individually painted by different artists, and then they are put together and assembled in the room, and it comes together with spectacular effect. And Jared has brilliantly brought in every color from the paper in his furnishings and in his various design elements around the room. It is marvelous. Brockman and Coleman's dining room, and it is hard to choose favorites in a house like this, but I am kneeling in front of one of my very favorite pieces, which is actually one of a pair of late 1700s Northern Italian marquetry commodes. So marquetry is the process of carving and then inlaying bits of wood into furniture or other decorative items. So you would see on this particular piece wonderful busts and faces and little figures that are, as I say, just spectacular bits of craftsmanship. In the late 1700s, there was a period of relative peace between the European powers and the Ottoman Empire. And with that peace came a renewed interest in the Turkish style. And in fact, Rossini, in the early 1800s, wrote an opera called I Turco, the Turk. This gentleman, I believe, is done in the Turkish taste with his Pasha or Sultan outfit. And again, it just, if my supposition is correct, it reflects a very interesting time in European history when this Turkish style was in vogue. And this piece, which is now over 200 years old, would reflect that little bit of history in such spectacular fashion. So we have a special treat, an unexpected treat, unexpected for Jessica as well. She just came back from St. Simon's where her work was displayed last night, and she's gotten back into town. So this is Jessica O'Neill. Jessica is one of the many artists who were featured in the design house, the Showhouse. And Jessica, how did you get involved with the Showhouse?
Sure, I was so fortunate. Lisa Mindy of Lisa Mindy Design, she was looking for something that felt intrinsic and true to Savannah, but could also maybe bring some of the history back into the house in a modern way. So Southern Gothic was the inspiration for the piece, and we looked at the dripping oaks and the Spanish moss of Savannah, but to put a more kind of angular, almost cubist feel on that.
Terrific.
No, it was a pleasure working with Lisa. She had such vision for the space, the color palette and the fabrics that she chose, the pieces from Ballard Design and from Schumacher really kind of gave that wonderful foundation for me to jump off of, and then just using the city of Savannah as inspiration doesn't get much better than that.
Melanie Turner was the designer for the master bedroom, and you can see that Melanie actually took her color palette inspiration from this vintage Hermes scarf. The yellows, the greens, the south-facing elevation with the bright sunlight. The room is almost alive itself. It's lush flower arrangements, just a wonderful bright space, and who wouldn't want to lay their head down on a bed like this? Oh, hello. So this is Meredith Ellis's masterwork here. Maybe not her masterwork, as she's done many projects bigger than this, but this is a jewel space in this house. She has created something special out of what used to be the kitchen for this floor's apartment, if you can believe it, where I'm sitting. So Meredith created sort of an equestrian theme. This is a place right off the master bedroom where one can come in, read the newspaper, take some notes. Have a cup of coffee from the built-in Thermador coffee maker. Thermador, the official appliance sponsor of the show house. We create a wet bar with a Caesar stone top over there, and then one of the features of the room is also its floor. Meredith brought in Story Ellis, who is not only her sister-in-law but a very talented decorative painter and interior designer in her own right, and Story taped off the floor and stained it with different colors to create this pattern that you see now. It has become really one of the favorite rooms in this show house, and we're appreciative of Meredith's efforts. I'm sitting in Kevin Walsh's master bathroom in front of our freestanding Fitzgerald tub by DXV, the official plumbing sponsor of the 2017 Traditional Home Southern Style Now show house. Kevin's inspiration was classic glamour, but also classic materials. The use of the mosaic marble floor in Crossville's Yin and Yang series, white flower was the color, with an inlay of black mosaic, again from Crossville's Yin and Yang. Black Dragon was the color. So that's a very luxe material. Kevin married that with the simple and humble subway tile. However, he did it in black and then turned the pattern to a crosshatch, used it as the wainscoting, and again created a glamorous look that could be really replicated inexpensively by anyone. Bedroom 2 on the top floor at the show house. Kara Cox designed this room in a cool color, physically cool and emotionally cool and spiritually cool. You will note when you're in the show house, which of course you're just watching this on video, but we're in a north-facing room right now, and the sun is not as bright as our south room right behind us. And you can physically feel that, the difference between the very sunny front room and the shadier, cooler, quieter back room. This would be a wonderful room, not only to sleep in a wonderful bed, but to relax on your purple settee. I almost actually blend right in with my sweater here. There's also wonderful artwork behind the bed done by Abby Price, and Abby creates art made out of found materials and then recreates them into beautiful works of art. Kara's room has been another favorite room of many of the tour takers and those visitors to the show. I'm in Chad James's upper story north bathroom, as we refer to it. There are 4 full bathrooms in the house, so they become difficult to differentiate. But Chad actually did a great job with his design in differentiating. He did bring in another freestanding tub. This is the DXV Seagram tub, but he also created something very special with the floating vanity made out of Caesarstone's London Grey. And on top of it, he placed a DXV vessel sink, and below it, he's got storage for his towels and a basket for various accoutrements that people may have in the bathroom. It is a beautiful space. I'm in the pencil and paper room created by Jen Soar of Pencil and Paper, and this is a south-facing room. We're at the very top of the house, so we're 4 stories up. We have a lot of sunlight. Of course, today is a rainy day and I can't show you off, but this room literally glows when the sun is shining. You've got the Benjamin Moore Laguna Yellow trim. You have 3 large windows, sun streaming in, and the room literally is warm when you walk into it. And with the color palette, it just exudes that warmth. So coming off the brightness of the pencil and paper room is the ensuite bath, designed by Mary Jo Bachner, who is a designer local to Savannah. This is a moody, dark bathroom. And again, it gets the great light from the south, but the colors are really subdued and intense, and it is a different feel, really, than a lot of the stuff in the house. Part of that, Mary Jo did bring in a vintage vanity topped off with the DXV fixtures.
And this is Gwen Dugan. She is a Savannah-based interior designer, and she did the garden level kitchen, and it was such a pleasure / happy surprise that we got to work together on this space and that she used my artwork. So Gwen, could you tell me what was the inspiration for the space and why my artwork worked in here?
Wow. Really the architecture is what informed the design, the ultimate design outcome. We were faced with some challenging things in the room. We had a low ceiling to start with, and then we had to put an even lower ceiling where the HVAC vent was. And we have a lot of openings, doors, stairs, windows. I wanted to keep it as light and, you know, inviting as possible, and I felt like this particular color might be a good way to go. It's called Green Tea by Cavico. It's a proprietary color of theirs, but it's kind of a blue-gray green, and of course the black floor, the whitish countertop, and I needed something fabulous and strong in terms of artwork, and you came along and had the perfect piece. So
you're sweet.
Yeah, so that really is how I mean, it was really just kind of magical. The painting worked perfectly in terms of the scale, subject matter, colors, everything. So it worked.
That was a fun install
Yeah,
day, and
it was.
definitely a happy surprise.
It was a happy surprise indeed. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much. This
Sure.
was such a great joy to get to work with you and be included in this lovely space and just be a part of both of the kitchens for the show house.
Absolutely. Well, thank you. I appreciate it.
Here with Gwen Dugan, who designed our fabulous garden level kitchen, and everything is put together so perfectly that you would think that surely we couldn't have had any challenges, but a little insider insight to the kitchen. So Thermador supplied this terrific 84-inch refrigeration column, but our ceilings are only a few inches higher in this room. And we had some question, to say the least, as to whether or not we would be able to stand up the refrigerator and slide it into the space. But after some deep breaths and some head scratching and some fist shaking, Gwen, a solution was found.
A solution was found. So, and we're very proud of the solution. We had the carpenters, everybody worked together as a great team, and we were able to actually remove the bottom 3 stairs from the staircase, and they're actually, should the unit ever have to be replaced, we can also remove them again because there's tons of headroom in the stairwell. So we're able to angle the tall refrigerator up and then put the stairs back in place. So it was a very clever, I think, solution for getting the tall units in here. And do you want to talk a little bit more about
I don't know if we need to come over this way, but we had, in addition to this side, with our freezer, we had another question. So we ran a duct and then the soffit for AC vents above us, floor vents on the parlor floor. So we knew we had the freezer unit from Thermador coming in, but we didn't know how wide this soffit was going to be and what the finished product would be. So we thought we had enough room, and as it turns out, we had just cleared it, if you can see it up there. So,
But not to interrupt, to let you know, we actually did have to adjust the studs in the stairwell to give us that extra 3.5 inches to scoot the electrical back into the wall. And you can see that it just misses by a whisper. So, but it worked.
it worked.
Yeah, it was done. And so this little space, you wouldn't want to spend a whole lot of time in this space doing prep work and whatnot, but it serves its basic purpose, which is to house these appliances. You can bake, prepare a dish to put in the oven. You set the oven, put the dish in there, walk away for 30 minutes. If you go to pull something out of the microwave or the oven, you've got a countertop space on which you can land it. Also, if you're pulling things out of the freezer here, we hinged it in such a way so that you can just sort of open it up, pull things out of the freezer, set it down right here. And that gives you a spot before you bring it into the main part of the kitchen to continue your preparation.
In Savannah homes downtown, the garden level is the ground floor, and it euphemistically creates this sense of, coziness and greenery and bright. But in truth, these are first story ground floor units. A lot of times in Savannah, you're close to the building next door to you and you don't have a lot of light. And originally, these were built to be working quarters. So you don't have the high ceilings. You often had fireplaces lower ceilings. Your servants would be down here. They would bring the food upstairs. So they were never really meant to be fine, fine rooms. So taking this challenge, M.A. Allan of M.A. Allan Interiors took a room that is smaller, has lower ceilings, has a slanted wall, has only one window, and created something truly amazing. A tented room, fabric covered walls, this bright fabric gave us 2 twin beds, beautiful art on the wall, created somehow a space that was really dark and not very exciting into a wow space, bright and inviting. So many people remarked that they'd love to just come in at night and sleep in here. And I think it's a tribute to all of Emma's hard work and design vision that she really made this come through. The garden level bathroom was designed by local designer Lily Brown, who used Crossville's yin and yang snowflower mosaic in the 1.5 by 1/2 inch size as the tub surround. Crossville's Black Dragon 3x12 is laid on a diagonal on the floor, and DXV's Oak Hill console sink is really a special piece that provides a nice wide sink. It's almost like a farm sink for your bathroom. I am sitting in the southern study at the Showhouse, and this room was designed brilliantly by Patrick Hamilton. This is one of the most challenging rooms. We are in the garden level, so we have lower ceilings to start with. And now we're in the rear of the house, and over time the house had additions, so we even have a sloped floor, a slant, coming up to this room. So this is the lowest ceiling in the house. We also have a soffit serving the upstairs kitchen with heating and air. So you have low ceilings, you have not a naturally easy space. And yet, Patrick has done what the layperson would say is exactly what you don't do with a small room. Patrick has actually, instead of just saying it's a small room, let's do something very sparse, he has layered the room in a way that is spectacular and makes it so cozy. So in this small room you have 2 club chairs on swivels, as you see. You have a desk chair, you have a console table, you have 2 ottomans underneath the console table, you have side tables, you have center table between. You have another side table on that side. There's a bar cart. So when they were bringing the furniture into this room, I thought, where could all this furniture possibly go in this small room? And yet Patrick again has layered it, and it is absolutely spectacular, and it is a ooh and ah type of room when people step in. I'm standing in the rear of the house right now, the very last room that you pass through before you get to the garden level courtyard. And this is more than a pass-through. This is indeed the garden room. Another very challenging space, low ceilings, tight, and yet totally fitted expertly by Susan Jameson, who is the founder of Bridget Berry Designs. And Susan has really just put everything in here exactly so people ooh and ah when they come through this room. We've got built-in lockers, kind of a mud room, potting station. I've got additional storage behind me with some inserts from Susan's own line of grass cloth paper. So it's just a terrific room. It really makes you, if you don't garden already, it makes you want to take it up for sure.